So we are live. All right.
Thank
Good
you.
morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on yet another amazing episode of the podcast. And today I have an amazing guest, amazing guest that is doing so well within the animal husbandry space, specifically snail farming. And he is no other than Mr. Douglas. Mr. Douglas, good morning. How are you today, sir?
I'm very fine, ma. Thank you very much for having me.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, guys, I'm just going to read out Mr. Douglas's bio, and so that we can start out the conversation today. Uh, Mr. Douglas Max is a visionary agripreneur and a snail farming expert. He's dedicated to advancing sustainable agriculture in Africa. He's the founder of Smart City Farms in Ogun State and also the co-founder of Royals Farms Stream Snail Tech in Lagos, Nigeria. With over 7 years of experience, he has built a thriving enterprise specializes in African giant snail breeding, snail-based product processing, and sustainable farming practices. Mr. Smart is a graduate of Abia State Polytechnic with a degree in accounting. Mr. Douglas is also a member of the Nigerian Institute of Management as a chartered member. His strong business foundation has enabled him scale his venture while educating in agribusiness and innovation. Mr. Smart Douglas began his snail farming journey in 2018, which is beautiful, recognizing its immense untapped potential. Today, he leads a sustainable, high yielding farm operations that caters to local and international markets through his enterprise. He's proving that snail farming is a profitable alternative to traditional livestock farming, offering economic and environmental benefit. And more importantly, his mission is to demystify snail farming and equip more people with the tools for success, driving the future of sustainable agribusiness. Mr. Smart envisions a future where snail farming is mainstream, creating job and boosting food security. With that being said, once again, thank you so much for just being here with us today. So let's just dive
Thank you very
into
much.
our conversation for today. I see that your background is in accounting. However, you then sort of pivoted into agro business and specifically snail farming. So just talk to us about how that transition happened and why snail farming or more, practices. You could have as well gone into maybe fishery or poultry or something else, but you went through snail farming. So tell us about that.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm a graduate of accounting. Okay, this started quite a long time ago. I came from a very poor background, and I lost my
Okay.
father at the age of 8. So, as at that time, as in there was no food and we hardly eat meat. So my mom normally take
Mm,
us from to the farm. Now early morning around 6, 7 in the evening, we go to the farm. Now we are going looking for snails. So what my mom normally does is that she will cut potato, pineapple, and pawpaw. She will pieces the fruits in the water. Now she scatters it in the farm around that kind 7 in the evening. Now, early in the morning, by 5 in the morning or 6, we will now wake up, we will go to the farm, then we'll pick a whole lot of snails. So when
mm,
we were growing up, that is the source of meat that we had. So my mom will always do that. Now, when we started growing, we started doing these things on our own individually. Now, what I do when I was growing, because it was what I used to that train me in the school. Sorry. Okay, what I do is that when I carry this pawpaw and pineapple leaf. I go to different farms, then I scatter the water because snails are attracted to juice, good smells. So when they early in the morning, I will now go back to the farm to now pick a whole lot of snails. You will see a whole lot of African giant snails. So it was what motivated me. So when I went to school, I always take these snails to school, meet my lecturers, all of them will be like, these are good species of snails. So are you going to supply for me next time? Are you going to do so? So I people knew me for being, then I don't even know I'm going to venture into snail farm. It's just something that I'm doing over time to just keep body and soul together. But when I grew up, I studied accounting. I was going to school from the village. So when I graduated, I was still doing the same thing. I was looking for work, like I searched for work and searched for work.
Mm.
I couldn't see any work now. It was what inspired me to just keep my accounting. Uh, the accounting that I read, I just packed it. Then I concentrated much on snail farm. So that was how I migrated from being an accountant to snail farm.
Wow, wow, that's quite impressive. Like, if for you it was something that your mom had introduced you guys to as just a means of sustenance, then you saw that there
Yes.
was a lot of potential with this, and you then took it forward, and then started out with that. I like the fact that you said, oh, when you graduated, there was no job, and but you remember that you had always started something and you went back to it. Not everybody would sort of do that. They're like, oh,
Yes.
this might be beneath me, but that was not your own case. Okay, so my next question to you is, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced when starting out, and how did you overcome them?
Oh,
Scaling it as a business,
okay.
just not like
Like,
regular. Yeah.
thank you very much. For some people, they would say that the challenge they had was finances. But in my case, it wasn't finance at all. In my case, it
Mm,
was people were labeling me a snail man. Like during my school days, people will call me Snail Man. Like everywhere, when they call Snail Man, I will turn. So I hated that name. I do not want anybody to call me Snail Man. So I was feeling stigmatized and done each time they call me
mm,
that name. So it was my biggest challenge. Even as at that time, I wanted to stop anything that has to do with snail. In fact, I really stopped. Seriously, I stopped. I got a work in a filling station just after I have graduated. Now, it was my course mate and my friend that used to call me that name. So when I graduated, I stopped hearing that's them and Snellman, but it was still inside of me. I really wanted to stop it. So I now got a job in a filling station. Now, what happened is that I worked there for like 8 months. Before then, I used to have money because a lot of people will now call me, do you have snails? Do you have snails? I say no. And in filling station, you always switch your phone off. So I wasn't
yeah.
getting, people were not calling me like before because I wasn't accessible. Then over time, I stopped getting the contact. Nobody was calling me. And the challenge is that the money they are paying me is nothing and they are taking a whole lot of time. So I now realize, this is actually what I cannot do. I cannot stay in this feelings because I know how much I am making. I've not started farming snail yet, so I'm just picking them from the farm. Now I know how much I'm making
Mm,
from there. So I now say, oh, it's actually better that the people call me snail farm, snail man, than working in this station and not making
mm,
anything. So I had to resign that job and now concentrate. Now I find out that I now change my mindset. Like when people now call me snail farm, I see it as though they are marketing me for free. I've been in some
yes.
occasion where where people will be like, "Oh, snail man, how are you?" Then another person will be like, Are you doing snail farm?" I say yes. Oh, they say I love snail. Can you supply to me? So it becomes an advantage for me. So over time, I changed my mindset concerning that. So when someone call me snail man, I see it like I'm really popular. So it was that was the challenges I was having as at that time. So I conquered it by changing my mindset. And another challenge I had was where to stock the snails because when I pick a whole lot of
Mm,
snails from the farm, stocking it becomes a challenge because I do not know that you can actually build a pen for snails, a place you can
mm,
actually train the snail. I do not know all those things. So it was when I started making research, going to YouTube, watching YouTube video, and I knew, oh, so I can actually build a pen for these snails. That was how I now started building a house. I started with a concrete pen, then I now
wow.
sorry
Yeah,
with
yeah,
wooden
yeah.
pen before I now increase it to concrete pen. That was how I was able to save a whole lot of snails, because they were dying because overcrowding was taking place. Heat was killing them because I was having challenge of stocking them. So that was how I really overcome these challenges.
So for you, the major challenge you had was the mindset, like, oh, you didn't want to be associated with that at the beginning. Then all the other challenge was a mindset challenge. The other challenge was also
Yes,
storage of the product in itself. You really didn't know how to like store the quantity that you were getting, but you were able.
yes,
So that means if storage was an
yes.
issue, that means you were really able to gather a lot or produce a lot if storage was the initial issue for you. Wow, that's interesting.
Yes, because over time, when you notice that when you sprinkle this juice water in a particular farm, you gather a lot. It means that when you sprinkle in a whole lot of farms, they don't we have to enter bike and go some different places to do these things. So early morning during rainy season, you must see a whole lot of snake coming to do what eat. So even till date, I
Mm.
still do this. Once it starts raining now, you will not see me in Ogun State. I will travel to the east. So that was how we do it.
Wow, wow. So, so my follow up question to that is, looking back at your journey, what are the key
Mm,
lessons you've learned that have sort of shaped your approach to agribusiness? Just looking
okay.
back at your journey.
Okay, one of the key lessons I've learned is that in snail farming, seriously, it will teach you patience. Like as a snail farmer, you must be
Mm,
patient. So I've learned how to be patient, because when it comes to snail farming, is not a fast growing animal. It takes a lot of time. So I had to learn how to be patient, how to grow this into with
mm,
patience. So and another thing I've learned over time is continuous learning. Like you have to continue learning, even you can't stop learning, right? Like sometimes you will have challenges, you don't know how they are coming about. You have to go online to look for a solution. You have to go to YouTube. And I have some other people like Mr. Tokumbo, the founder of Extreme Snail Tech. So they are experts. So when you associate yourself with these people, you see that you learn, you expand. So and again, it's sustainability when it comes to because some people think that snail farming is all about profit. Let's go and make profit. Let's go. No, it's not just
mm,
about profit. It's about sustainability. Yes, ma.
mm.
That's what it has taught me over time.
Fantastic. So, over time for you, you have seen the importance of being a continuous learner and also thinking the big
Yes.
picture of sustainability, not just a one-time thing in terms of your earnings or your
Mm-hmm.
ability to produce more, but also think about how
Mm-hmm.
can I sustainably do this for a long period of time. That's really good. Many people still see snail farming as they don't see it as like a serious business. When you think of like, oh, if you're thinking fishery, you're thinking poultry or like piggery. Some people don't still think of it as a serious business. Can you serious in terms of profitability? Can you explain why it is profitable and a sustainable venture? Why snail farming is a profitable and sustainable venture?
Okay, I would say why is profitable and sustainable venture is because in snail farm we have a huge demand. Like the demand in snail farm is very huge, but the supply is actually few. That is why snail meat is costly. It's because not many people farm snails. They prefer fish because the thing is that information is power. They don't have this information, so you will not do what you don't know. So there is high demand in snail farming. The profitability is very high because it's just few hands that are into snail farming. And people in the diaspora, they like I have someone that called me last week. The person needed 800 pieces of jumbo size snails, jumbo size. And this jumbo size, as of today, is sold for 4,200. One
A
jumbo size
piece.
snail. Okay, imagine the person is saying, yes, yes, if that the big size of it. So
Yeah,
the
just
demand
one.
for it is very high, and the supply is few. And again is that
Mm.
low cost. I will call low cost and okay. Yes, one jumbo size nest. We have different sites, but the biggest size of African marginata snails is 2000, sorry, 4,200. As of last week, it was 3,800. Now we sell 20 pieces of it, 20 pieces, 102,000 for 20 pieces of snails. So you see how profitable it is. And in terms of costs, you see that snail feed on readily available plants. They feed on water leaf. They feed on bitter leaf. So it's not like fish where you go to, like, fish feed is very costly now. But when it comes to feed snail feed, you feed your snails with things that you see on a daily basis. You don't spend much money to go feed your snails. So that is why I say it's a very profitable business for someone to venture into. Yeah, and they are environmentally friendly. Like they don't smell now. Yes, they don't smell, they don't make noise. So is something anybody can do. So I would actually say it's a highly profitable business for anybody to venture into.
That's really good. Really, really good. Okay, so what would you say are like the initial requirements if a person wants to start out like a snail farm? Is it like land, capital, materials, and how realistic is it for somebody to be able to scale this business? What is like the initial requirements if the person wants to start out?
Okay, if anyone wants to start, the first thing you're going to be looking at for is a land. Yes, you must get a land, but a land is for people that wants to go big. Like, anyone can start snail farm even at your backyard. So for you to start, let me not say land. If you want to start, you must use land. But for those that wants to start little, you can get a space at your backyard, even in your corridor. I've taught people over time. I see some of my students that started their snail farm on their corridor. There, so with 10 feet by 10 feet length and 10 feet width pen, you can actually start with 100 pieces of snails. Yes, and one snare is sold at, for point of lay, is sold at 450 naira. So when you get a place, what you will do is to construct your pen. Now, construction of pen does not cost much. With 30 to 70,000 naira, you will be able to construct a pen that will contain at least 100 pieces of snares. Now, these 100 pieces of snares, depending on the species that you stock, one of these snares will be able to give you 1,200 eggs in a year. So, and selection of breed also. Hello, are you with me?
Yes, that's a lot. I'm here. When you said 1,200 a year, I was like, that's a lot.
Okay, so
1,200
one
eggs
breed
a
of
year. I
species
was like,
will
that's a
give you.
lot. Mr. Smart, can you hear me?
Yes, this is exactly how profitable. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so one species of snail, Achantina marginata folica, we have different species of snail. We have Achantina marginata suturalis, we have Achantina marginata ovum, we have Achantina folica. So depending on the species of snail that you want to go for, each of these species, there are one that will give you 70 eggs, there are one that will give you 1,200. So as time goes on, I will be telling you the I see is part of the question, the best species of snail for anyone that would want to be going into snail farm to go for. Thank you.
Fantastic. I was just very intrigued to hear that number, like 8,200 annually. And so that's like over 100 eggs in a month if we are to spread it across 12 months,
Mm,
right?
yes,
Is there any
that is,
mortality
you're
rate?
going for
Because even
Argentina, of
with
course.
birds, there's mortality rates. Is there mortality rates? Do some die?
Yes, yes. There is mortality rate. At least be looking at 20% mortality rate at least.
Okay, stop there. Oh wow, 20%. It's still fair. Sounds fair. That means you still get 80 out of 100.
Yes,
Give or take.
yes.
That's fair. Oh wow. But how long does it take to grow into a size that can be sold? Like how many months?
Okay, it takes for it to reach to marketable size, it takes one
Yes.
year. Now you just know that you can eat your snails at any time. You can eat it as at 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. But the bigger the snails, the higher the price. Now, if you want the snails to get to jumbo size, it's 1 year and 6 months and above. If you want it to get to point of lay are 7 and 8 months. Now, point of lay are snails like a newbies. Anyone that wants to start snail farm should start with point of lay. Now, point of lay are snails that have gotten to the months of laying eggs. Those are the snails that you purchase, but when you purchase it, they will lay eggs. You will now incubate the eggs. The eggs will become hatchlings. You grow them. While they are laying these eggs, they are also growing to jumbo size. So it's just
Mm.
like an old layer chicken, right? You take the old layers to the market to sell, but the younger ones, see, you leave it in the farm to keep laying. The same thing applies to snail farming.
Wow. The point of lay thing, I've never heard that for snail before. This is my first time of hearing like snail has points of lay. I used to think it was just only birds, that were points of lay. But okay, I've
Oh,
learned something new today.
mm,
Fantastic. So what's like the best species of snails for commercial success? And how does one choose the right snail, you know?
okay, the best species as a farmer, like before you select any species of snail, there are things you're going to be looking out for. First, you're going to be asking yourself if I'm doing this business of snail farming for commercial purpose. Am I doing it to sell it, or am I doing it for household use? If it is for commercial purpose, you'll be going for Argentina marginata species. Now, Argentina marginata two different types. We have oven, we have suturalis, and these are very good species to farm. Now, the way to go for it is that why I always suggest people go for Argentina marginata, uh, oven, or suturalis is because they grow faster, right? But other species of snail like Argentina and Argentina folica, they don't grow faster and they are smaller in size. So when we say jumbo size, the jumbo size Argentina marginata oven, the meat is very sweet and the meat is strong and they grow faster. So Argentina marginata suturalis are oven are the best species of snails to go for as a commercial farmer.
Wow. Wow, that's really beautiful. So is there like an ideal environment that you have to keep them? Does it have to be moist? Does it have to be hot? Does it have to be airy? Like what is there like an ideal environment to practice snail farming? Hello, Mr. Smart, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you. I didn't get the last thing you said.
Okay, so I was saying, is there like an ideal environment to practice snail farming? Does it have to be humid? Does it have to be moist? Does it have to be airy? Does it have to be hot? Is there like an ideal condition for snail farming? The environment where you're practicing the snail farming. What's the
Yes.
ideal?
Yeah, yes. The ideal environment must be humid, like moist. It should be a moist environment because snails dehydrate a lot. So the place you are farming it must be moist and rich with loamy soil. Now, some person might be asking, what's loamy soil? Loamy soil is any soil that can grow your crops. So crops are the food, the cassava we plant, the potato, they are crops. As far as the soil, the sand can grow it, it's very okay. So the place must be moist and humid. Yes, that's the perfect environment for snails, and it must have shade. You don't expose snails to direct sun; it dehydrates them. So many people don't know this, but this is actually the reason why a lot of persons are having mortality in their farm.
Mm. So too much exposure to like harsh conditions like sun and not having the pen moist can result to mortality rates. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm thinking he's having a bit of network glitch, or he should be back in no time. But I trust that you're learning a couple of things from this interaction today. Personally, I didn't know that for snails that you needed. Personally, I didn't know that for snails that you needed to um, sort of there's like a point of lay thing going on. I used to just think that point of lay was just for birds. It's just good, quite good to just hear that. There's also that phenomenon of point of lay for snails as well. So guys, just please bear with us. Mr. Smart should be back in no time. And so here's like the very interesting story about having Mr. Douglas back. Okay, so he's here. He's here again. I'm thinking he's having like a bit of network glitch. Welcome back, Mr. Smart. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can you hear me? Oh, but I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. Are you using like a Bluetooth thing? Uh,
Can you hear me?
Fantastic. I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, so my next question to you is can you sort of break down your day to day operations of running a snail farm? From feeding them to like health management. What's like the day to day operations, the basic thing you would do every day when you're managing your snail farm? Um, I think there's a bit of network glitch again. So, guys, please just bear with us today. Please bear with us. I think he's having a bit of network glitch, but he should be back in no time. And interesting thing about Mr. Smart is he's just like a very committed person. So he should be here. Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Fantastic. Yes, loud and clear. I was saying to you, can you sort of walk us through, like break down your day-to-day operations as regards running your snail farm? From feeding to health management. What exactly are the typical things you do on a day-to-day basis whilst you run your snail farm? I'm thinking that it's the network situation. So guys, please just bear with us. Mr. Smart should be back in no time. Should be back.
Oh, I don't know why network is like this.
Okay, you're back now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Did you hear the last question I asked?
No, please come again.
Okay, so I said, can you walk us through like your day-to-day routine on the farm, like from the start of your day to like maybe feeding the snails, health management. What are like the basic things you do on a day-to-day basis on your snail farm?
Okay, one is feeding the snails. When you feed the snails in the evening, in the morning, you have to remove the remnants, the leftovers. So after removing the leftovers, what else you will do is to what? Moisture, water the pen and make sure that the pen, the snails are watered. Like I said before, snails are grown in a moist and humid environment. So after that, what you have to do is that to also moist the mulching materials. Now, mulching materials are the dry plantain leaves because snails love hiding a lot. So what we do is that we use dry plantain leaves to moist the place. Like when snails are feeling hot and they see dry plantain leaf that is very moist, they go there to hide. So you always make sure that the plantain leaves are very well moist. Now, look out for pests. Now, because of the feed you fed them, it's possible that ants or flies must have find his or her way into the pen. Now you look for those things and see if there is any pest. If there is none, good. If there is no, then it's okay. So you remove the ants, you remove the flies, then you cover the pen. Now, when it comes to health management, you now check if there is any broken shell, if the snare has broken shell. Because when you see any shell that has any snare that has broken shell, it means that these snares are lacking calcium. Now, it's very important that you, as at that time, you start providing your snares with calcium. Now, if you see the ones that are not active, they are not moving the way they are supposed to move, and you notice that this snare did not like it is not moving, you are going to be removing them and keeping them in a different place for a treatment. That is what we do on a daily basis. And finally, you should be looking out for eggs, because snail lay a lot of eggs. When they lay these eggs, you will not be the one to take out these eggs and incubate it differently. Because when you leave it to the pen, the snails will crawl on it and it will get broken. And it's very important also recording, because a lot of persons are doing snail and they don't even record anything. They don't know how many snails they have. They don't even know how many that have died. So it's very important that you record on a daily basis. They don't even know the hash rates, how many they are. So recording is also a very part of our snail farming business. Thank you.
Wow, wow, that's really good. Who would have thought that in snail farming, there's that lot of processes that goes into it? No one would. I personally, I wouldn't think that. But thank you so much for just sharing that with us. So now we've talked about how to sort of set up the farm. We've talked about the basic things that can be done on a day-to-day basis. So what should farmers do to help increase their production and maximize their yield? So just walk us through what you advise a snail farmer to do to increase production and maximize.
Okay, to increase production, the first thing to do is stocking a very healthy species of snails. You have to stock a very good, healthy species of snail. That is Achantina marginata oven. So when you have done that, the next thing to do is that separate, like you have stocked it. Now you come to the farm, you see that now we have baby snails and we have big snails. You now have to separate the baby snails from the big snails. You don't keep those two snails together. Like it's just like how do I put it? When you feel like you see chicken, let's use a poultry farm. When you
Yeah.
put baby poultry small chicken now in the same pen, in fact the big one will be eating more than it. And sometimes you see big chicken trying to peg the smaller one. So the same thing also applies to snail farm. So you don't keep the two together, because snails also crawl in each other, because these baby snails are still tender. The shell, they are not strong enough. So when you leave the two together, the big one can actually eat up that small one, like crawl on it, then eat it up, because the shell of that baby snail is still tender and it contains calcium, and snails love calcium a lot. So it's very important that you separate the two, and again improve housing and environmental condition. How do you do that? Like I've said before, you always water your pen. If your snails must lay egg, they must lay egg in a place that is moist and humid. Some persons will say my snails are not laying eggs. It's because the place is not humid. Because what will make you make profit in snail farm is because they are laying eggs, right? Because when they lay these eggs, you incubate it, it become baby snails. You will now grow from there. So if your pen is not humid and moist enough, these things will not take place. And again, nutrition. We have formulated feed when it comes to snails. Like we have chicken feed, we have fish feed.
Yeah.
Some persons only feed their snails with vegetable, water leaf, cucumber, watermelon, pawpaw. They don't know that there is also a formulated feed for snails. Snails also have their own feed. So it's very important for your snail to grow faster. In as much as they are not fast growing animals, there are feed you will give them that will make them grow faster. It serves as a balanced diet. So this formulated feed is very important, that every intended snail farmer or commercial snail farmer should include it in their feed. Then calcium. A lot of persons don't know these things too. So you also feed your snails with calcium. Now, calcium is not like a chemical, is eggshell. You blend eggshell to powder form. The same snail shell we all know, you blend it to powder form. You can also blend oyster shell. Any of these shell that you can see, you can blend it to powder form, then feed it to your snails. Snails love it. It will help them grow faster. You will see how your farm will be smiling. Thank you.
Wow. I didn't know that they
Yeah.
were formulated feed because at the beginning you said, purple leaf, water leaf, and all those things. So I was like, okay, probably there's no formulated feed. So that means, are they
There
also,
is.
aside from calcium, are they also other vitamins that can be infused into like the water or for snails? Are there other vitamins apart from calcium?
No, there is none. For now, there is no non-drugs for snares. No, there are a traditional thing that we will do like bitter leaf, scent leaf. Sometimes we squeeze it and put it in the water. It serves as a detoxifier. It detoxifies the system of the snares. But to the best of my knowledge, there is no vitamin or any drugs yet for snares.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So in your own experience, because I know that you also train a lot of aspiring snail farmers and even ongoing snail farmers at the moment, because that's how I sort of met you. In your own experience, what are like the common mistakes you see that new snail farmers they make, and how can they avoid it?
Okay, this is a very nice question because it's very important. I get these questions every time. Now, one of the common mistake is people rearing the wrong species of snails. Like I have seen people that have farmed their snails, they train snail for like 2 years. They are still training that same snail. The snails have not grown. That is because they are doing the wrong thing. They are rearing the wrong species of snails. So if you want to rear, it's very important that you rear Achantina marginata ovum or suturalis, not folica. Now, folica multiply a lot, but they don't grow. It's something that you do for household use because they don't grow. They are very small. Nobody will buy it. It's just like during Christmas that we'll go to buy a Greek fowl. Nobody will go to buy a native fowl, right? So the same
No.
thing applies to snail farm. So these are mistakes people make. They don't go for the right species, and it's a problem. And another thing is poor housing and management. I have seen students over time now you tell them to always feed their snails, then make the pen moist. Now they make it waterlogged. Instead of moist, you see water everywhere.
Mm.
The same way, the snails will now drown because everywhere is dirty, like waterlogged instead of moist. It's a mistake like these people are making. Another mistake is on marketing. Now, some persons are now starting snail farm. They don't even know how to market it. You don't even know who are your buyers. Like you just start because you see that someone else is doing well. You just enter. Like I have a lot of farm that I'm helping them market their snails. Now, it's also an advantage to me because there is no way. Like I have a lot of orders that I'm not able to cover
Meat.
because others are
Yeah.
coming because of the position I occupy online. I have a lot of orders. But some persons they don't even know how to market their snake. They grow and grow and grow. They now start, and it will make you if you're supposed to sell your jumbo size for 4,200. You see, I will be pricing it 2,400 or 2,500. It's because you don't know the market. You see, those are the mistakes
Mm.
that people are making, and they are still making it to now. And like I said before, people don't know about formulated feed. They don't know about calcium. They just know, oh, they eat fruits and vegetables. They just keep feeding them fruit and vegetable. It does not contain the full balanced diet that the snails need to grow. So, and again, before I forget, recording, like I have students that they don't even know how many snails they have. They don't know. They just, oh, I'm training it. And when someone come to your farm and take 20 pieces of snails, you don't know. So you see, you're not doing business. So you handle your snail farm business as a normal day-to-day business. Another challenge people are having is this. They now go to employ someone that have knowledge of snare farm while them also do not have that knowledge. In snare
Mm.
farming, it's very important that you know what you, even when you want to employ someone, know that you also know it. It's not like other businesses where you set it up and let any someone else manage it. It does not work this way in snare farm. Finally, some people will now set up their snare farm and now expose it to direct sun. Anything that has to do with direct sun, it will dehydrate snails. Once snails are dehydrated, what will happen is that they will die. So these are the mistakes I've made over time. Now I've learned, and I wouldn't want people to make that same mistake. Thank you.
Wow, wow. You spoke very well about the challenges, and one of the integral one that you highlighted, which is also leading to my next question, is about the market. Who are like the biggest buyers and the markets for snails? Is it like local consumers, restaurants, exports, or cosmetic companies who are like the biggest buyers for markets? And how can people get to access those markets?
Okay, the biggest market for snails are exporters and
Mm,
restaurants. Yes, like a huge number of people in diaspora, they keep requesting for snails, and there are no way you are going to reach these people if you are not online. Like life has gone digital, right? So you
mm,
must also learn to also master the internet. So these are
yeah,
the only way you are going to reach out to these people. Like I'm able to reach out to a lot of persons, even like people that they have not seen me before. They kept calling me, I need this thing, I need this thing, I need this thing, I need snail. So the biggest market we have right now is exporters and restaurants. Local consumers also purchase snails, but you can't compare it to people that are not
yeah.
living in Nigeria, the diasporas. Thank you.
Yeah, very true. And speaking about just mastering online, guys, I have not met Mr. Smart in person. It was online. I participated to be one in his class, and I reached out to him. I was like, "Oh, sure, I'll definitely come on the podcast and speak." So there's so much power in leveraging the digital space. There's so much power in just leveraging that. Okay, so my next question to you is, how do you see the snail farming, business evolving in Nigeria in the next 5 to 10 years? What do you think about the snail farming business? Do you think it's going to grow? Do you think it's going to, be the way it is? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, my thought about this is that there will be a growing demand when it comes to snail farming. I'm telling you, a lot of people are going to plug in into snail farming, and especially like I have a student of mine, someone that invested 10.5 million naira in snail farming. That is last 2 months. If you say the massive snail pen this person built, because the person has foresight. So there, in 5 years, I believe there will be a growing demand, and again. We are not going to overestimate the power of technology here, right? So I'm seeing like technology taking place. Like when we talk about climate, humid, like in 5 years, I'm seeing that people are going to come out with something that would automatically make your pen moist and make your pen humid
Yeah,
even while you are not there. So
yeah, yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Mm.
Fantastic. So it's good to just know that there's enough markets in that space, and the market is going to definitely evolve, and technology will also enhance practices within the market. So, from your own analysis, what role do you think that snail farming is playing in boosting food security and economic empowerment? What role do you think snail farming is playing?
Well, the role I feel like snail farming is playing is that it serves as a affordable protein source. Like snails is 100% protein. Like a lot of people are coming to understand this, so they use it as meat. Some people don't eat meat. What they base on is on snail meat. 100% snail meat. When it comes to economic empowerment, you see that a creation of jobs, like are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. You had gone off for like 5 seconds. So you're talking about
Oh,
creation of jobs.
yes, yes. I mean, okay, okay. I mean, with NEFAM, you see that there will be a lot of jobs. Like I have students, they don't have money, but they started their snare farm. This is to tell you that with or without money, you can actually start your snare farm. Now, even old people, young people, I have people 72 years old people. They are doing snare farm. Okay, assuming there is no snare farm, these people will not be able to do anything. So it serves, it creates job for people. And I would use this opportunity to advise anyone listening to me. The opportunity is, this is the right time to become a snail farmer. Like it's not, snail farm is not something that you will do and not do anything else, right? Right now I bought a course on data analysis and I'm studying it too. it does not stop me from doing what I know how to do best. So as a snail farmer, you can do anything that you want.
Hmm. Uh, so, guys, he's just
From
saying
doing
that.
nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to just hear that. Um, it still gives you freedom of time. It's not like other kinds of farming that 247
Yes,
you are just engaged and everything, but you still have the liberty to do other things that you would really love to
yes,
do. Okay,
yes.
so for anyone listening to us today and they want to start out their own snail farms, right? They've listened to us in the last over 30 minutes. What are like the first three things you would advise them to just do immediately for anyone listening to us today?
Okay, for anyone listening to us today and you want to start up your snail farm, number one thing you must do, I say you must do is what? Research and also attend training. Before you start up your farm, research. This farm that I want to do, how much do I know of it? Now you have to attend training. Like you don't need a bachelor degree to become a snail farmer with basic knowledge. Now we have a lot of people online that can actually see you through. Like I'm a mentor, I can do that for you. I will have YouTube there. You can go on the YouTube, watch a whole lot of video. It's not something that you just jump into without having to have the knowledge of snare farm. So it's very important. Number one thing you have to do is research and what? Attend training. Now, number two, I would advise that you secure a land or at least build a pen. Build a pen is very important. Like you don't make the mistake. I told you before now that the challenges I had was stocking, where I'm going to stock it. Now it's
Yes.
very important to also find a place and secure a land or build your pen at the backyard of your house. So it's not something that you just you don't have plans or what you want to do, then you don't jump in. It does not work that way. And again, finally, get a quality species of snails. It's very important. So like if you are farming the wrong species, you find out that you will be wasting a whole lot of time, you'll be wasting a whole lot of energy, probably money. So that's why you're going to be going for good species of snails. Okay, I said finally, but this one is very important. Recording. You must be able to record the growth of your farm. You don't make this mistake. In snare farm, you handle it like any other business. Thank you.
Fantastic. And this takes me to my very last question. You talked about the very important thing about learning and training. So, currently, do you have any training or program or mentorship opportunity for anybody listening on this call that want to go into snow farming based off this our conversation today? And how can they best connect with you?
Okay, I run an online training in like on WhatsApp. I run online training. I also run physical training in Ogun State for those in Lagos State and Port Harcourt. So these are the places I can guarantee for those that would want physical class. But if you're not in these places or is the distance is so much, like we have online class. I have a lot of persons that have actually do great things. They've not seen me before, but they are doing wonders. So I know you also can do better. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, can you share like maybe like your Facebook page, your Instagram page, so that they can just sort of send you a message? I would also try to drop it on the description in this video as well, but just say it out, your Facebook page, your Instagram page, so that they can, connect with you.
Okay, my Facebook page is Smart Farm. Once you type the Smart Farm, it will take you directly to my page. I do not know how to share it,
Okay, no
but
problem.
I think
I'll add it
uh,
to the description on this on the video.
okay,
Add it so that anybody
okay.
can definitely just click on the link and they get in touch with you, get in touch with you. So guys,
Thank
thank
you
you
very
so
much.
much for joining us on this, on this fantastic episode. We just talked about the untapped gold mine, how to start and scale successful snail farming business. Particularly, regardless of where you are in Nigeria, you should be able to do this with the information that he has shared. And if you need him to handhold you through the process, he has already mentioned his Facebook page. I can reach him, and also I'll drop his page on the description so you get to connect with him as well. But with that being said, thank you once again, Mr. Smart, for joining us in today's conversation. It has been quite insightful and enlightening today. Thank you, thank you, thank you so, so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.